Hello everyone, Chris Buick here for UK Film Review, and I'm here this time to talk to you all about the feature film Just One Last Thing. This film was written and directed by filmmaker Alexandra Gillespie in what I believe is their feature film debut. Just One Last Thing is the story. We are introduced at first to a young woman by the name of Etta, played by Georgiana Gillespie, and she is being interviewed for a job, and it soon turns out that her job is not like any other typical job. Her job is to oversee a sort of halfway house for those who have recently died. So one by one, these people will knock on the door, and Etta will bring them in, greet them with a cup of tea and a biscuit, and sit them down, talk about their lives, and then ask them the simple question: if there was just one last thing you wanted to do before you pass over, what would that be? So we get to meet through this means of how the house works, this real carousel of interesting characters who all have different backgrounds and different wants and needs and have led very different lives, come up with all sorts of requests. So some people would want to swim with whale sharks as their one last thing, or they want to climb Machu Picchu, or they want to write a novel, or they want to make a feature film. Etta's job is basically to host them at the house while she goes about helping them fulfill that one last thing. At which point they will go upstairs, as it were, to the next place. And all is well and good. The film really starts off in a very light-hearted, entertaining, kind of engaging way in the first half of the film, as it were. Despite his slightly, morose premise, some of the things we learn are a bit obvious before the reveal, but the joy of being with these characters in the house is a lot of fun to go through. It's a really engaging romp in the first few outings. Until one day, there is an unexpected knock at the door, and on opening it, Etta sees standing there is her old university friend Olivia, played by Becky. She is not on the list. She shouldn't be here. So why is she here? Her boss, Etta's boss, wants Olivia out because having someone who isn't on the list in the house is very much against the rules. But it soon becomes clear that Olivia, like everyone else in the house, needs help. And her one last thing she needs is justice for her murder. So this is where the film then moves into slightly darker and deeper themes. There are, just as a trigger warning, there are depictions and talkings of sexual assault and against women. And the film is very upfront with those warnings, thankfully. But when the film does go into those deeper moments, it's very respectful. It's very sensitive about the subject it's tackling. It doesn't shy away from it. It doesn't make light of anything. It's all handled very well as you'd hoped it would be. So there's a lot of respect to the film and filmmakers for that. But yes, story-wise, it's got so many levels. It's, like I say, it allows you to laugh, it allows you to think, it allows you to feel different things at different times while never sacrificing any of the either side of that balance. The film apparently had a very modest budget, but that is not something that shows on screen. Gillespie is very good at getting the most out of everything, every scene, every shot. They are very adept at the technical aspects of everything, but they're also very good at mixing things up in the way they move the story forward and tell the story. There are some great technical tricks in there to bring flashbacks in and to cut between the fantasy and the reality of the situation. There's a lot going on there that really keeps the film fresh for its just over 90-minute runtime. But what really does help this film become the triumph that it is the cast. There are some actors who within that cast that are obviously not as experienced as others. However, I would say that none of them ever feel out of place or they're not able to fulfill their role. Everyone is 100% and full of enthusiasm. The core co-protagonists, I guess, of the film in Etta and Olivia's characters are the key, and thankfully they are the two best roles in the film. Georgiana Gillespie as Etta is a constant calm presence, which, given her role as guide to the afterlife, she absolutely needs to be. She's always a gentle ear. She's always willing to give a kind word or make everyone feel at ease, but can bring the emotion when she needs to as they dive deeper and deeper into the details surrounding Olivia's reason for being there. But everything really comes alive when Becca Banner as Olivia bounds into proceedings. She has a different energy. She brings so much of a different level to proceedings, and it allows the film to naturally shift towards the direction it wants to go for the latter stages. So I would say Becca Banner is by far the standout performer. Overall, though, the film, like I say, it strikes a perfect balance between the comedy and the drama. It tackles the sensitive issues head on with just the right amount of grace and sensitivity it deserves. And it's got a great cast and it's thoroughly entertaining from beginning to end. So I would say that it's a very, very promising debut and a very good film worth your time.